Tonight is another opportunity for us to have legal hour program. As I said from my intro, I know that we are experiencing what people call global warming. We have a very severe hot weather, and many of you are out there trying to enjoy fresh air, especially now that the sun has set. But hey, we have legal hour program tonight, and obviously each time I come your way, I come with quite unique topic. Tonight I'll be looking at family law, and I'm going to unravel some mysteries in hiding places. And obviously this is an opportunity for each and every one of us to learn. This program is quite insightful, it's educative, and I thank all of you who have always been giving us positive feedback, how this program has been so helpful and beneficial to you. But hey, tonight's program, I'm looking at pension. I'm going to look at pension in general, and eventually I'll look at pension offsetting and pension sharing when parties are separating or they're going their separate ways. And I think that this program is perhaps more beneficial to women, so because they tend to have less pension, so this offsetting and sharing order is something that will be much beneficial to them if any of them has joined me tonight and is watching. I will not be here for that long tonight because I'm sure that everyone is feeling the heat, and I can feel the heat even in this studio. And because we are trying to limit the noise, AC cannot even help me here. So I'm feeling like fish out of water. But we've got corporate social responsibility to fulfill. So tonight I'm here. Favorite solicitor Thomas Belbel, all the way from City Law Solicitors. I am here to discuss pension sharing orders, pension offsetting, and whether or not people should voluntarily give up their rights to some of its benefits that they are entitled to, especially when relationship has hit the rock and they're going on their separate ways. That is the topic for tonight. But before I do that, I'm going to go on a short commercial break, as I do always, for you guys to get ready for this topic, and also to share the video to your friends and family whom this program might benefit. Don't be selfish. Please share the program with your friends and family so they can all benefit. So I'm going to go on a short commercial break. When I come back, I'm just spending just about 30 minutes here going through the salient points about pension, and eventually discuss sharing it and offsetting in divorce under the family law. And then I can give viewers opportunity to ask questions. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. So please don't go away as I go on this short commercial break. When I come back, I'll join you once again to discuss the family law topic for tonight. Thank you so much for your patience. As I said, tonight I'm going to discuss family law. Bring your way a very unique topic for tonight. And obviously I am aware that most of you are out there. The weather is quite hot. But hey, we still have to have this legal hour program. And I'm happy to be here, even though it's quite hot in here. Tonight, as I said for my intro, I'm going to look at family law tonight. But before I do that, I'm going to give general overview about pension. Because I know that most of us, after working our entire life, we need to go on retirement. So there is a need for us to plan for our pension. But more importantly, when people are living together as husband and wife, then of course, this pension becomes quite significant, where one is sacrificing for the other to keep more pension or to accumulate more pension. So tonight I'm going to look at pension, the essence of pension, why people must have pension. But more importantly, I will look at when it comes to matters of divorce under the family law and why pension is also so important, or pension savings. Because most times we get focus on the house when we have all these issues and forget about other essential assets that are equally available to the parties. And one of them is pension. So under the family law, I'll give some statistics. But as I've said, it's important to also give the background to this pension before I move straight into the family law. Now, currently, those who are employed between the ages of 20 and 55, automatically, if you are earning £10,000 or more, then your employer automatically has to enroll you in a pension scheme. So if the employer does not do that, if you are earning £10,000 or more, and you are at the age of 22 or above, then your employer is going to be in breach of the law. So most of you, obviously, when you are working, you need to have a pension. If your employer hasn't done that, you need to find out, because all employers, as long as you are earning £10,000 or more, you need to, the employer automatically has to enroll you in a pension scheme. Most times, some companies have facilities that allows you to make voluntary contribution in addition to how much the employer is paying. And most times, those who are working in this public sector have quite enviable pension schemes. That is what retains most of you in that employment, even though most of you sometimes go on strike for low wages. So pension is important. The reason being that now we are so active. We go in and we come out, every month we are receiving funds into our account because we have the energy, the capacity to continue to work and make money. But sometimes we need to ask ourselves, are we going to be able to be doing this for the rest of our lives? Now the life expectancy, thank God, is so high. People live up to about 80 years, 70 years. And obviously, when you are unable to work, what happens to you if you have not made provisions for pension scheme that allows you to be able to draw down some revenue at your old age? And that's why pension is so important, and that's why I'm discussing this program tonight. So obviously, those of you in the UK, have already said that those of you who are working and are employed by your employers, then of course, our workers, you are entitled to be enrolled automatically in the pension scheme if you are earning £10,000 or more and you are more than the age of 22. that is a legislation, is statute established that employer needs to do that. Obviously, some of them will allow you to make voluntary contribution towards it. Now, recently, there have been a lot of the MPs have come to consensus that even those of you, my brothers in the construction industries, who are self-employed, they are now going to make it quite accessible for you guys to also be able to enroll in pension. Because it's not every day that you'll be able to do that construction work. A time will come when you are so frail and weak and you cannot be able to lay bricks or do the mortar or the electrical jobs or this heavy stuff. It pays off at this our youthful age. But obviously there come a times when one will not be able to do it. I'm grateful that MPs have come to that agreement that people should now, who are working as self-employed, should also have the opportunity and chance to enroll in a pension scheme so that they can also make savings towards their retirement. So having said that, I have now established that both employed and self-employed now have opportunities to enroll in pension schemes, and those who have to do it automatically because by virtue of being employed. But having said that, obviously, the pension is an investment. It allows you to recoup more money. Whatever you save now in your pension scheme, obviously you gain interest. Some of these pension funds are used for investment purposes. So there is that drive to yield more returns on that pension. So whatever you're paying now, by the time you get to retirement age, there is huge funds. We have dealt with cases where people have about £350,000 pension savings. It's worth more than various houses in this country that people sometimes fight ferociously over them when it comes to divorce, which I will come to quite shortly. So that is why it's important that we need to consider pension schemes at our youthful age, because it's so important that that is a security for us to rely upon them when we get to retirement age. But having said that, because I said from the onset that I'm looking at the family law, tonight, having said a background about the essence of having pension and why people should have pension and the purpose of having it, including those who are entitled to be automatically enrolled for pension, I now have to look at this aspect of the family law. Sadly, when relationships are formed and eventually coming to an end, I have discussed a lot of family law issues here. Last time I discussed about the new divorce law that came in 2022 that has now become a law, no for divorce. I have discussed most of this on the platform here. But tonight I'm looking at pension. I've set a background to it. And my topic for tonight is that, should I give up my right to my ex-pension in divorce? Which means that people have right to each other's pension. So the starting point is that when people have formed a relationship, the husband might be working 40 hours or more, has enrolled in a pension scheme, making substantial savings towards their pension pot. The woman, in most cases, tonight I'm speaking for the woman. So if you're a woman listening to me tonight, this is your opportunity to enjoy free legal advice. So most times women, the underdogs, they work on part-times, they go on maternity leaves, they are not able to work continuously because of childbearing, and therefore most times they end up with less pension. So what is the protection under the law if, for example, one has formed a relationship, been espoused, and has, because of childbearing, have not been able to accumulate enough pension, and quite sadly, if, for example, the relationship should come to an end. Now, I want to give a scenario of some of the cases that we did without going much into details. But as I said from the onset, we've had cases that people have had as much as £350,000 pension savings in their name, that this is funds that if they reach that age, they can simply take it out or be receiving monthly payment from that pot. And we have the parties having an asset, a house, that after taking out the mortgage and everything is worth perhaps about 400,000. And you can see that these parties are ferociously fighting over that asset, because they look at the asset as a physical asset that is quite tangible, it's visible, they can see it. They feel that if they put it on sale, somebody will buy it tomorrow, and then they can share that funds and go their separate ways. But what people tend to forget is that the intangible assets such as pension, they equally have right to them. And I want to give you a little bit of statistics when it comes to pension. Now, obviously from 2008 up to date, it's been quite so easy for parties who have come to a position that they don't want to be together again and want to go their separate ways to go through divorce. Sometimes by themselves, do it yourself, DIY. And the statistics suggest that as much as 35% reduction in people not discussing about pension sharing. And I'm going to go into that very soon. And there are also statistics that also confirms that when it comes to where parties are going their separate ways, splitting the assets, in most cases, only 15% out of every 100 parties that go through the sad end of divorce goes into their pension, because most of them are quite naive. They are not aware that there is anything like pension that is equally forms part of the matrimonial assets. But tonight I am unraveling the mysteries, so it's your opportunity to have this free legal advice. So having stated a 35% reduction because people are doing some of these things themselves, and because of that they tend to forget their pension, and gradually about 35% below the 15%, I don't want to bore you with a lot of statistics, but as low as only 15% talks about this pension. But obviously, just as matrimonial assets such as house, investments that are either in the joint names of the parties or the sole names in the party, once they are married, it is available to all the parties, especially when it comes to divorce. And therefore you find out that most times people have been much ferociously fighting over the physical assets, especially in the UK, the house. And most times some will be quite in a haste, perhaps to chase the man away if they are in occupation. Or sometimes they might even agree that I am taking the house and then you can go away with whatever investment that you have. Because for them, that is the tangible asset. But tonight I'm just taking my time, obviously, to explain some of these things to you because it is a free legal advice. Now, normally, when we get to a stage where there is an exchange of assets and where people have to divide assets, I've already said that it's not just the house that is available to the parties to distribute. But the pension is also one of the assets that forms part of the matrimonial asset that needs to be distributed. So the starting point is that most times, for example, with the client we're dealing with, which one of the parties had as much as £350,000 pension available to the person, and the house being worth £400,000 after deduction of mortgages and all other charges. So you realize that without assistance from a lawyer who is family law accredited and very familiar with some of these things, you find that most times people just concentrate on the house and divide it and go their separate ways. But there are two things that I want to mention here tonight on this platform. There is what we call a pension sharing order. Now, the pension sharing order arises where one party, let's say the woman may have less pension because of childbearing, because they've been working on part-time basis. So therefore, they might have a pension worth about £50,000, or sometimes just £20,000. You have the male, sometimes who haven't worked continuously and had a pension of about, let's say, £200,000, and may still be accumulating. It means that when there is pension sharing order in the division of the assets, the one that has less pension can get a percentage of the other party's pension for the mere fact that that forms part of the matrimonial assets. But before I go to the second section of that order, which I have just mentioned, the first one, which is the pension sharing order, I want to take the opportunity to acknowledge viewers on this platform, because it's important that I always do that. And if you are watching me tonight, I will urge you. I know it's very hot out there, and I know that most of you may not have opportunity to be watching tonight, but you can still watch this show even after I've left the studio. And if you are watching tonight, I'm urging you to, if you want to be acknowledged, make a comment so that I can acknowledge you. Again, on Thursday, we are going to do the same program. MC Chaka will be here to host it. Now I have Rich Adu, Uche Okpa watching tonight. I have Dora Fimpong, who is a regular participator of this show. I have Vice Ohene Bafo, who is also watching tonight. I have Cynthia Ankama watching. I have Kwame Yeboah watching. I have Gabriel Bankori, he's a good evening lawyer. I have John Atta, who is watching tonight. I have Kukuta Ndoku, Prosper Opoku, who is also watching tonight. Nana Owusu, I salute you, who is also watching tonight. I have Ellen Amansa Adesam. Ellen, how are you doing? Ellen is also watching tonight. I have Amankwa Alexander, who is also watching tonight. I have Nana Owusu, who is a lawyer. I have introduced you to my friend who will be presented to your office on Thursday. Kindly reserve a slot. Thank you, Nana Owusu, so much for the referral. I have my own sister, Ajoa Aduchua, who is also a regular participator of this show. I have Festus, my lord, I salute you, who is also watching tonight. I have Fred Asare, one of the regular participators. Thank you all for watching us tonight. Tonight we're looking at pension, and we're also looking at when the relationships go bad, how people can look into the sharing order. So I have talked about the pension sharing order, which is an order that the court normally makes in favor of the one that has less pension, which means that if one of the parties have less pension, he gets a percentage of the pension of the one that has more pension. So that's one of the orders that the court, under the Matrimonial Causes Act 1973, have the right to do that. But the second option is the court also has the powers to do what they call pension offsetting. I'm choosing my words carefully. I'm taking my time to explain. So the pension offsetting is where by the parties might have a house and they may have a pension. And again, one of the parties might have more pension than the other. So when it comes to offsetting, it means that if the house is worth about £400, £400,000, and the other person has a pension which is more, let's say the client with that, which is about £350,000. Now what it means is that each of them, perhaps if they are entitled to share the house equally, the other person can say that because you have more pension, then you get an equal share of the asset of the house. But obviously, when people forget to take this pension into account, then it means that, especially for women, it means that they will end up being the one that sometimes lose out. But obviously, there are exceptional cases. The client we dealt with is rather the woman who has the pension of about £350,000, not the man. So sometimes women do very well, and under the circumstances, they may even have more pension. So tonight, it's been a short discussion. I've had the opportunity to explain to viewers why people should have pension, and even those who are self-employed, there is now facility for them to also have a pension. Those of you who are working and are earning £10,000 or more, please, people need to take some of these things into account. I know my brothers and sisters, most of you be working few hours here and there, but it's about time you also thought about pension, because if you are doing 2 hours, 3 hours here and there, and you are not earning £10,000 or more, then the employer does not have any responsibility to automatically register you for a pension. And I know that most of you are quite strong now, we are working, but obviously this is not going to go on forever. And just imagine that you have still bills to pay and you are on pension, and if whatever the state is supporting you is not enough, then you enter into what they call pension poverty. The reason why you enter into what they call pension poverty is that you have not saved enough for your pension. It means that at your old age, you become poor, even though perhaps now you are not poor because you are working very hard and making ends meet, and obviously doing all those things that you want to do because you have the funds and the means and the capacity to be working to fulfill those dreams. But obviously, without having this pension in place, then you get to the retirement age, then you enter into what they call pension poverty because you have not saved for your retirement. And this is the opportunity why those of you who are employed and work earning £10,000 or more have now the opportunity to be enrolled in a pension scheme, which is something that government has made it mandatory for all employers who have recruited staff 22 years or more and earning £10,000 or more to automatically enroll them in pension. You have the opportunity to contribute into this pension. It's an investment towards your future. But also, I've also said that when it comes to the end of relationship under the family law, people should not just focus on the assets, physical assets such as houses, because the statistics indicate that only 15% normally discuss pension when it comes to the end of the relationship. So obviously, this is some of the things that people need to take it into account when it comes to matters of this nature, and they have to discuss pension sharing and pension offsetting. So it's been an opportunity to bring to you the Legal Hour show for tonight. At this point, I'm going to open the phone lines. I am feeling very hot in here. Sadly, I cannot use an AC, but I know that most of you are equally feeling very, very hot out there. But hey, this is the times that we find ourselves in. This is what the Lord has done, and we need to rejoice, as somebody would say. The weather is hot, but we still need to enjoy because it's our opportunity to have this summer. So at this point, I'm going to open the phone lines. If anybody has any question, if you need an update of the law, you can still phone in. The phone lines are on the screen, and I'll be here to obviously answer your questions. And I also take opportunity to advertise our sponsor, which is CITI Law Solicitors. Again, CITI Law Solicitors, if you are looking for us, we are at Unit 113 and 112 Backend Enterprise Center, 50 Cambridge Road, Barking, IG 118F Chain. That's where you can find us. If you want to come to visit us, you want to get to the Barking station, you just turn right, you'll find some KFC there, just at the station. You walk past it. If you are not hungry, if you're hungry, you can go in there and have some chicken. You walk past it, and then you can turn right and straight, you find Barking Enterprise Center, where you will be able to reach out to CITI Law Solicitors. Now, we also specialize in numerous areas of law. We specialize in immigration, EU law, nationality law, asylum, and immigration rules. If you are bringing your wife, children, if you, even though there is Hotel Rwanda, if you have a asylum matter that you want us to deal with, you have EU settlement scheme application that has been refused and you want to do a P or administrative review, we are here to support you on all these immigration matters. Employment law, we deal with all employment cases. If you have been dismissed unfairly or you have been treated unfavorably because of discrimination, then we are also here to support you. Our family law department is also quite strong. We are family law accredited. We are not just solicitors, we are family law accredited. So you can always dream of the best. Tonight I brought you the family law, which is pension sharing and pension offsetting. So at least this is some of the things that the family law department for CITI Law Solicitors brings to you. And then we also specialize in personal injury and clinical negligence. If you ever had an accident at the work that was not your fault, if you was involved in motor accidents, you were in a car and you sustained some injuries as a result of accident, again, we do some of these cases on no fee basis. If you have commercial dispute, if you enter into some contract and there is a breach and you're being dragged to court, the civil court, we'll be here to defend you. Housing disrepair, thank God we now have hot weather, so there is no issue with mold and damps. But obviously, if your house is in disrepair state and you want to claim compensation for that, we'll also assist you in dealing with that. Consumer law, I always come here to quote the consumer law. Obviously, if you have had purchase, you have sales disputes and all that. Again, insurance people have failed to pay you compensation. We'll be here to support you to deal with that. Media entertainment is also an area that we also specialize in. So if you have missed any part of this program or you find it very exciting and insightful and you want to continue to watch it, this program stays on my platform. It is recorded, it is kept there. You can watch it again and again and again, and you can share with your friends and family members who might also have similar issues and want to obtain free legal advice on this topic for tonight. On Thursday, I'm going to be here again with MC Chaka, and we'll discuss the same topic that we have discussed tonight in Chi. Hopefully on Thursday, the weather will be a bit cool so that most of you can be indoors to enjoy this show with me. It's been amazing and privileged to have you on the show tonight. I'm so grateful to all of you who have been part of this program for tonight, and I'm urging you to share the videos and invite your friends so that we can have this program the same time on Thursday. Thank you so much, and God bless you. God bless you.